Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's a bonny day. It is. What a view, what a place to work. Got that 225 over there. You can see it. That one's to service, that's a 500-hour service. This 160-7 is getting a 2,000-hour service. There's another 160-7 just behind that canteen. And that is 100 hours off a service, which is a shame. So I'll be back up here back in the next week maybe. We'll slot that one in. I think, what was that? I'm sure that's coming up to 2,000. Yeah, it was 19 something. Right, I better get my hat on because it's only 3.5 degrees up here. It's nice weather, but it's cold like it is, especially on this hilltop. There's a strong breeze. Right, get these hubs lined up and get everything changed. That's the plan. That way. Whoa. That way. Back a bit more. Whoa, lovely. Nice. If you remember, the last time I serviced these two machines was, well, I remember the date. It was the 23rd of January, and it was that really snowy day. So it was. And they both clocked up another 500 hours together, which is handy. Saves a bit of running around. Yeah. Right, I'll get all these filters out and organised because there's 160 filters mixed in with the 225s. I think that's just that there. It'll just be the 225 on its own, to be fair. And a pilot filter to go with it, and then all the rest of that's the 160. We'll get a look over it now and then we'll make a start. Right, I've just got this engine oil to put back in. and the hubs to do, and just gonna say what a nice day it was. Anyway, I'll put my oils in, I'll go and get them boxes before they go up the hillside. Time to service the stump buster now. DX225-5. The hub's draining, engine oil draining. 500-hour service. Engine oil, fuel, pilot filter and the fuel filter on the other side. Should be straightforward enough. It's just before lunchtime. I'll get this service done and out the way, then he can go back to work. Catch up with his pals over there, look, working away. Yep, nice big site this one. Yeah, not much more to add really. Get these filters done. There's the 20 tonner way back to work. It's the 160 that I've just serviced, and there's another one just up there. So, yeah, that's it all serviced. Job's finished up here. It's warmer than it was. Taking my hat off. About 11 degrees now. It's 1:30, so I'm gonna sit and have my lunch, and then I'll. This same customer's got a 210 in the engineering shop, getting belly plates fabbed up for it. So I'll call in there. It's got an oil leak somewhere on it. It has been out in the wild for. Must be getting up towards 1500 hours now, I'd imagine, if not slightly more. But anyway, it hasn't got the forestry guarding on just yet, so that's where that's at the moment, getting guarding. So yeah, I am definitely ready for something to eat. I am really, really hungry. So I'll grab a bite and then we'll continue with the day. Thought I'd pull up here, look. For anybody that sort of wonders what these machines do in the woods, I have explained it before, but you can see the professionals in action. See how they just sort of, they call it dolloping up here. Well, I've heard it called dolloping or mounding, but they're just putting mounds of earth out for the new trees to be planted into. So that 160 that's closest to us, you can see it's sort of putting out mounds. The 225 behind it, it's going up the next, not tram line, it's not a tram line, is it? It's a brash mat. Pulling all the stumps out as it goes, and then it'll come back down and it'll dig a trench, and as it digs the trench, the soil that it gets out the trench goes into the mounds, and then he fills the trench back in with the stumps that he's ripped out on the way up. If that makes sense. That's not how it's always done, and that's just how he was telling me that this site is to be done. But yeah, hopefully you can kind of get an idea for those of you that don't know. Maybe now you do know. Right, time to, yeah, I'll tell you what, remarkable difference in me after having something to eat. It is. Right, I'll see you at the next digger. Right, I'm at Carlton Engineering. The machine's just in that shed, it's got an oil leak, I'll show you. So yeah, this 210. If you remember, I serviced this a few months ago and I found an oil leak up on top of the valve chest. They've come to put the belly plate in here and spotted it's all damp. And it's nice being under a pit, look. Yeah, there's dampness everywhere really. It's bad to judge at the moment where exactly it's coming from. But it'd be good to get to the bottom of it while this plate's off. So that's why I've nipped up here this afternoon. I'll take the plate off up at the top and we'll see where the dampness starts, and hopefully that'll lead towards the source of the oil. It's grand being under here, look. Well, it looks like down this way, look. This here is what I pulled out and replaced a seal in there last time. You can see where the dust is here, it's dry, but here it's wet. And it is damp right down between those spool caps. And it runs onto the plate which the valve chest is mounted to, and runs down here. So, pull this off again, pull that valve out, and just check our work. These things happen. It's not really damp though compared to what's down there. I'll go back down there with a torch and just look up the way. Make sure there's no pipes rubbed. There you go. Damaged that O-ring again. Exactly the same as last time. What I think I'll do is put some Vaseline on it when I put it back in so it doesn't try and pick up on the threads. That's all I can really think of to do. And I think what I'll do, I'll go on the parts list and order that exact O-ring, and if it isn't already leaking at the next service, then I've got one in the van for when it does leak again. Yes, that is what I shall do. Pull out my box of O-rings. I mean, I can well imagine the correct O-ring will come out of a box like this into a little plastic bag and sent up to me. But, yeah. Come on. Right, I'll change this O-ring out and we'll put it back together. I'll put it back in. Right, so I did work that machine and it was still leaking, but what I'd done is I'd put a thinner O-ring in it first and that was leaking, so I've put the heavier O-ring in it. I put some Vaseline on it before I put it in, ran it for a bit there and it seemed dry, so we'll just have to see, let it develop. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. It's what time is it, 5 o'clock-ish? Oh yeah, 6 minutes past 5, so not too far away from home. About 10 minutes. About 45 minutes or so, I would say. But I need to go and get diesel. See you in the morning. Morning. It's Wednesday today. Just reversing out of here. I'm heading over to the northeast today and go and service that shovel again. That put some serious hours on. When did they get that? I think they got that back in August. Back end of August. 2,500 hours already. Incredible. Anyway, that's the plan for today. I noticed on the last service there was a grease nipple snapped off on the drive shaft, so I've got a grease, it's like a long grease nipple about that. So I've got a fresh one of those. I'm hoping I'll be able to get it out. It's stood out because it's snapped flush. So yeah, that's all I've really got to get done today, hopefully. Oh, the bit's mired up. It's just stuff everywhere. Right, I'll get out of here. Well, we're back again. Another service, another 500 hours clocked up. 500 hour service today. A couple of fuel filters, engine oil filter, pilot filter. And like I say, that grease nipple as well. Yeah, I'll have a walk around it once I've got my gloves out of here. Have a nosy over it, make sure everything's right, and then we'll drop some oil. Alright, so when I'm looking over it, I'm just sort of making sure all these auto lube pipes are intact, making sure that all the pins look like they're getting grease. That's a good example down there, there's fresh grease coming out. Just having a good look over it, just trying to make sure there's no pipes gonna rub through and burst, and I'll have to come out here and replace pipes on a Friday afternoon or something like that. So yeah, just having a good look over, making sure everything's right. All pins are getting grease and stuff like that. Yeah, I noticed on the last service I went to grease the drive shaft, and there's a grease point that would normally be in here somewhere. It was missing. I'll show you the grease nipple, what it looks like. That's the grease nipple and what it looks like. It's quite a long one, and it's sort of snapped off at the threads here. Hoping I'll get a little easy out in and just unscrew the broken stud. I've had pretty good success when I've had these break in the past. I did used to have one on my van, but obviously no longer present. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do anyway. I'll get all the engine oiled off, get the service done, and then the plan is just to pull the drive shaft off the transmission side and just pull it towards us hopefully, and I'll be able to work on it in that centre joint. We'll see. I changed my mind. Thought I'll get this rubbish job done first. You can see now the broken stud there. What I've done is I've taken the shaft off at both ends. If I really wanted to, I could pull the shaft right out and lay it on my bench in the van, but it's alright here. Hopefully going to try and get that extractor into there with a bit of luck. Shouldn't be too tight, like it shouldn't. We're going to find out in a minute or two. In fact, it isn't too tight, look at that, beautiful. Ha! Happy days. Winning! So before I put this new grease nipple in, what I'll do is just make sure that there's no, yeah, it's all good in there. Just make sure there's no packed in bits of grease or out like that, but it's good. I won't thread that in. Oh, I'll need my other hand to do this. No, I've got it started, I think. Lovely. That there, I should have wrapped a rag around that, otherwise I'm going to end up covered. Definitely end up covered when I go to put this shaft back on. Love it. Happy days. Get that screwed in. Right, it's just the more straightforward stuff to do now. Get that draining. I'll go and ratchet another empty drum out the van, because this engine, I think from memory, is 37, 38 litres, somewhere in that region. So 2 empty drums will cover that. It's doing well other than that. There's no, you can tell it's got a new driver on it now, because there's no extra damage from when I was last here. Everything's looking quite tidy. I will just have to have a look at these radiators though. I can see a bit of stuff starting to build up. Could do with a leaf blower really, but some of these sites, they don't like you to blow air filters and radiators out. So, yeah. Yeah, about 40 litres. That one's just about full. It's draining out. Got the old engine oil filter off. It's actually good because it's been sat for 15-20 minutes while I've been doing that drive shaft grease nipple. There's no oil that runs down the side of it. Makes it nice and clean. Right, I'll get 2 hands on that and just give it a nip up. Yeah, it's all this sort of fluffy dust that I'm concerned about in the radiators. Even in here as well. I mean, you can well imagine stuff getting hot, and you'd have thought that's quite combustible. Could do with a rinse down every other week, just then you don't know if that's going to cause issues either. So yeah, it's different when it's like gravel dust or out like that. It's not an issue, but that sort of stuff, it's like cardboard dust. That's my new fuel filters on. I'll just crack this blade screw here and pop that rag there and just flick this switch. Fill that filter up and then do the same on that filter. Lovely. Alright, pilot filter next. Do prefer them mounted here than way down under there. Get this changed out. I'll need 2 hands because I hold that drum underneath it, even though I've got that down there. Just keep it tidy, you know what I mean? And finally, last filter, cab filter. That gets changed every 500 hours, believe it or not. Steery old spotlight. Oh, right. Engine out to go in it and drive shafts to grease. Run it up, check out pressures, general operation. Job will be done. Tell you what, I'm getting all sorts of smells. It wasn't too bad when I turned up. And they parked that telehandler next to us and the wind's coming from this way. I don't know what he's been driving through. There's bits of it on the bucket as well. Smells like dog food. It's a good job I had a bite to eat on the way over here. Right, I'll chuck this engine oil in, grease these shafts and catch back up with you. Oh, I've just got a whiff. Oh. I've just finished greasing the drive shafts, and another good tip which I'll show you is this pipe here. That's the axle breather. I always give it a bit of a clean off, just so you know the axle's breathing. Because obviously the oil will get hot as it does, it expands, and that'll create a air pressure if that isn't breathing, and there's less chance of seals blowing out and stuff. So yeah, just check your axle breathers all the time, make sure they're clean. Right, that's the last job done on this shovel. Climb out from under here. Right, there we go then. Service is complete. Yeah, the only issue I can see with it is that cutting edge is pretty worn, but spotted that over there, so it looks like it's all in hand. Good for another 500, so 6 weeks time probably I'll be back again. So that's 2.5. Ooh. Big service next time. 3,000 hour. It'll be a lot of filters and a lot of oil. I'll get myself that Milwaukee transfer pump before I come back here, I promise. On the to-do list. Right, 1 o'clock I'll have a bite to eat and then head back across the country. Right, we're back at Carlisle. 3:45 now. That journey took bang on 2 hours, believe it or not. I'm going to finish the day with, we'll come around this corner, we'll see that new DX85. I need to finish PDI in it. So that's what's to do next. From memory it wants greased and lock valves bled, levels checked and washed off. So that's what I'll do next, that one. Right, that's everything done really. Just need to fuel it up and wash it down. Cab's a bit minging like. I'll pull that floor mat out and wash it. And it doesn't help that this yard's like a dust bowl at the minute, but the cab needs a good clean too, so I'll go and put diesel in it, wash the outside, bring it back over here and do the inside. Right, there we go, nice and clean. Inside. And out. It'll be clean for as long as 10 minutes. Like I say, this yard is very dusty. Right, I'll put this cardboard back in, so when the wagon driver comes, he can also get in without tiptoeing about. Yeah, I'll just go around some bits with a dry rag and that'll be it. Looking alright. Oh, I need to put the Gordon stickers on it. Salesman will kill me if I don't. The problem when I shouldn't have greased it first. I should have washed it and then greased it. Splattered up. Oh, hey. Right. I'll finish this and we'll round the video up at that for today. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. You'll be pleased to hear that's all the servicing caught up with for the time being. So yeah, there's no more services to do for the next 5 or 6 days, I don't think. There's one on the horizon, but it's just one, promise. Right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.